So what's up? Hikeda here again, and I made a deck this week that was inspired by Fire and Stone. I'm really excited for the set because the Underworlders' main elements, well, in Dawn of Param were Earth and Fire, Kaor having Fire and Lord Van Blood having Earth. So I wanted to make a deck that used both Fire and Earth, and now it's starting to be more possible. And I said it's not necessarily a meta deck, and it's more of a fun deck than anything. It showcases a cool little combo that is quite useful and handy. And this deck is a pure Underworld deck because I'm an Underworld player and I haven't shown one on YouTube yet. Let's go.
Spot 1 right here, sorry for the shaky. I have Lord Van Blood with a Sun Chariot of Kensep. Spot 2 I have a Kiru with a Drill Dozer. I have Kaor the Fierce with a Scarab of Kalai. Now the reason I have Scarab instead of say a Whip Crack, which is more commonly found on him, is because Scarab allows the equipped creature to not lose elements. And seeing as how Kaor really needs his fire in order to take advantage of Fire 10, good combo for him. Alright, so this creature in spot 4 or 5 is Nivena with a Bi-Motorcycle. The creature here, you see I don't have one, all I have is the Pranker Tanker. I'll explain that in a little bit. And I like to run Tachyon on the Shadow Knight because she's one of my favorite creatures, but at the same time, one of my new favorite Underworlders that was introduced is Rothar, Forceful Negotiator. So you can run either or with the Pranker Tanker. Rothar is probably easier to find. And then in the back spot, I have Copond High Muge of the Hearth with a Mupetian Baldier's Flute. Now, to explain the deck, you want Kiru to win. That's why he's equipped with the Drill Dozer for more energy. And basically, you engage combat with him first. You get a leadership counter on him. And then, on the start of the next turn, you take advantage of Pranker Tanker and swap places with either Rothar or Tachyon, whoever you have the Pranker Tanker equipped to, and you pull Kiru back into your back lines, and then you move Kaor over so that he's fully defended, essentially, by your creatures. And then Kiru, when he wins combat, he'll gain a counter, a leadership counter, which makes all your creatures have 10 more energy. And then you can use Rothar or Tachyon once you've switched positions with Kiru to try to take out your opponent's army. The Bi-Motorcycle is in here to sacrifice and to give Kiru range and swift off the first turn, so that you can try to attack a weaker creature, further ensuring his victory in combat.
Those were the creatures. Now I should mention that most of them can be replaced. The basic idea for the deck is that all you need is Kiru and Pranker Tanker. The Bi-Motorcycle helps, and so does Copond High Muge. But other than that, you can switch a lot of things up, and that's why I'm actually thinking of remaking this strategy into a mixed deck that's probably a bit more competitive. But for now, 10 extra energy on a Kaor the Fierce that has 70 is 80 energy, right? That's a lot of energy on a creature that's already going to be difficult to take down. And you're going to want to save counters on Nivena for ability, and you want to use the others for the music, and I'm going to show you those right now.
Song of Fury, as soon as Kiru gets engaged. And then, hopefully, he'll be able to deal 20 damage, which isn't difficult with the attack deck, and you can play Improvisational Melody for another 20 damage. I'm running a Cadence Clash and a Refrain of Denial, both Denial musics here. Both should be cast off of Lord Van Blood up here. So, the Cadence Clash and Refrain of Denial. Now you can run two cadences, but I find it more beneficial to actually deny a music rather than send it back to the hand, because sometimes this is better. And then you have two Cannons of Casualty, again to be cast by Copond. You sack the Balladiers Flute in order to cast this last cannon, and Improvisational Melody costs 0, so it's not going to cost anything. You save Nivena's counters for her ability.
Music deck, it was pretty straightforward. Underworld Musics, you got your two cannons for 30 or 60 total damage off Copond. You got your Song of Fury for 20 damage and Fire 5 off Copond. And you got your Improvisational Melody for another 20 damage off of Copond. Like, it's a lot of burn. And you have your two refrains, or your cadence and a refrain. What I wanted to say is you have to play the music in that order. The chances of your opponent denying your first music that you play is very small. Generally, you don't want to deny the first music a lot of the time unless you have all denial music, and like unless it's a key part of the strategy, because sometimes later on the match it's more beneficial to deny a music that they're playing that can help them win and gain advantage or gain tempo. So I don't know. I don't. That's just a personal thought too. Um, I just don't think that you'll find many people denying the first music that you play, um, unless I don't know they do. And in which case it's all right because it doesn't matter. You have a bunch of other burn that you can play to help you win that first combat. So yeah, attacks.
Attacks. Yeah, you can see the lid now. It's something I made up. Basically, I put a KOR in the front of an Underworld tin. It's a real KOR too. You can check the code if you want. Attacks. Flame Bloom, because heal, and it's a fire attack, and there are no fire earth zeros. Fire Ring for 10 fire damage. Fire Stream for 5 fire damage if they're unequipped, and there are a couple gear destructions. Flame Breach in case somebody doesn't have fire, or you happen to be at Newman, Voidland, and same with 2 Earth Shapes, because I was running Tachynom. Both Tachynom and KOR don't have Earth, and Newman Voidland again. Flash Warps, 2 of these. 2 Ash Torrents, it's a fire and earth attack. Consuming Flame, 2 of them. 2 Infernal Claws, I really can't wait for the Fire and Stone. Dry Liquid, and that's coupled with a Mineral Mayhem. Lord Van Blute's Servant of Ani decks can hurt, so that's why I'm using Mineral Mayhem to up your courage by 100. I threw in 1 2 build point attack. I really don't like running them as much anymore because of Iliar, but I threw in a Force Strike, and I'm using a Fire Ram for 30 damage, and a card I'm also using is Tarantula Tackle, which is really cool because your main fighters, KOR the Fierce, well, my KOR the Fierce with Nyvena's ability, Kiru, Lord Van Blute, and either Rothar or Tachynom, they all won't have their gear destroyed if you play this attack. So, very helpful. And then Magma Mite for the last attack, 30 damage, and destroy their gear.
Alright, so pretty straightforward attack deck. Earth and fire elements. If you want to switch out some of the zeros like the Flame Breach and the Earth Shape for more damage dealing attacks, go right ahead. There's Incineraces, there's the new there's the new elemental attacks. It's whatever you want. I mean that's just what I had happened to choose. So yeah, let's go straight to the locations.
The Pits, 2 of them, pretty stable underworld location. The Cliffs, in order to give Earth to KOR the Fierce, because he should become a main fighter after you take out some weaker support creatures with the Pranker Tanker equipped creature. So 2 Cliffs. The Flame Gate, especially with KOR. Make sure all attacks count as fire attacks, therefore dealing at least 10 damage on every attack. Initiative Fire, and it's a Fire and Stone card. So, yeah. 2 Lore's Chamber of Recalls, there's 2 of them here. Get rid of Composters, and 2 Underworld Coliseums.
Very straightforward location deck. If you have any questions, just post a comment. One thing I should let you know about is that you can't play the deck online because Pranker Tanker is bugged. Sorry, so it makes it an offline deck only, but it is really fun to play offline, so just give it a shot, or don't, whatever. Remember, hail KOR.